Hey Taurus, I hope you guys are doing well. I want to go ahead and get into your reading for the first portion of April 2019. I hope you guys are good. Exactly. Okay, so she's coming out again. I was pulling cards earlier and shuffling for you and pulling cards, and I decided to put them back because a lot of people were like, no, you're cheating. You pulled them out and they're all set up. They're not. This was your space, Taurus, where you were coming out as the Queen of Cups, Pisces energy, Cancer energy, Scorpio energy. But somebody who's emotionally adept, somebody who is willing to operate from levels of compassion, see compassion, be heartfelt towards others and to themselves. She's a nurturer. She's very psychic. She's awakened. Kindness, love, generosity. Show me more for Taurus. Pardon me. I'm still getting over a cold. Yeah, okay. So, two cards popping out here. You have the Three of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Temperance. Some of you could be dealing with the Sag. Some of you could be dealing with a water sign. Don't have to be, but that's a possibility. The Five of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles, Taurus. Yeah, that was in your other set of cards, Two of Cups. This is what was coming for you, toward you in your other reading. I didn't even read it. I pulled them out in the Celtic Cross and I was like, you know what, people are going to complain, and I just put them back. I probably should have kept them out. Something is telling me now that I was supposed to keep them out, but it seems that there's too many things here that are surfacing from that last reading that are here again. So I'm not too worried about it right now, Taurus. Okay. So much of what the other reading at a glance was talking about was kind of a need for balance, but also when I was shuffling for you, I started to, it was weird. Sometimes I will hear a number inside of my head, and that's how many times I'll shuffle, and then I will place the cards down. Yours was going backwards. It started from 17 and then it went backwards. 17 Taurus, 16 Taurus, 15 Taurus. It was like we were going back. I don't know if that means we're going back in time, going back to a situation where we have to deal with somebody that we once were incorporated with, revisiting certain things within ourselves that we have to reevaluate. Mercury in retrograde type energy, it brings back a lot of those things. It causes a lot of awareness, shifts in awareness, people coming back, most definitely. I mean, that's one of the biggest things that Mercury retrograde kind of supports, is people coming back, new understanding of where we, you know, have been shut off, where we've maybe negated what we've wanted, you know, put things to the sidelines and under the rug, and where they should have been here, but they couldn't be here because we weren't there to recognize them. We weren't there to understand them yet. And now is that time, because it's like you have to do a certain level of learning, of understanding in your life to get to a place where you can finally address certain things. And that's where it feels like this is going. It's like love, recognizing a situation from the past, maybe dealing with a potential reconciliation here. And I think it's important for you to maybe, you know, because a lot of people are like, oh, reconciliation, yes, finally. And then it's like, well, let's literally take a look here. You know, the Queen of Pentacles sits right on top of Temperance. So this is all about balance. It's all about watery emotional balance, balancing reality within emotions and feeling, balancing out what makes you tick now versus a year ago, what makes you happy now versus a year ago, or I don't know why I keep saying a year ago, but that may apply to some people. You know, it's more along the lines of an evaluation stage. And it's as if like what is presenting itself is the ideas of what it is to be happy, the ideas and the thoughts of what it is to be like sated on all levels. How do you go into that? How do you go about that? If there's a situation from the past that was kept in the past for whatever reason, somebody left you, you left them, whatever the situation may be, sometimes that's indicative that it may need to stay in the past for your own growth, for your own progression. You know, it's not always the case that we have to re-engage in a situation because it represents itself again, you know, even if a situation seems to be like the holy grail of all situations where you would like do it in a heartbeat. But you know, here it's like, I feel like it's more so important for you to really recognize what makes you feel good, what makes you feel all right. You know, you may have somebody coming back. That's what it feels like. You may have somebody coming back. You have to evaluate a situation. There is a deep connection here, or at least there was something that felt like a deep connection when you were incorporated with this someone. But it feels like the energy between you is pretty big. So for some of you, there may be a situation where it's like you really are taking this into consideration. For some of you, it's like, we're going to let this go. And I feel that this is kind of like a, where we are at this time. This is where we are. Like, I don't want to say, that word doesn't make sense. The stagnator. I don't even think that's a word. It's like the current state of it. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's in stagnancy. It just can mean like it's almost like a holding period. Like we're about to open the top, you know? And it feels like we're going to have to do some deep searching as far as what we want in regard to what works for us, what is there for us as far as connections go, people that make us feel good, people that we feel connected to, eased around, you know? Yeah, so, you know, it's like what you want, but is it what you want? So let's go ahead and dig a little bit deeper, see what's going on here for you, Taurus, and we will just go on. Show me the Queen of Cups for Taurus. Show me the Queen of Cups for Taurus. So you have Strength and you have the Chariot you have Strength in reverse, you have the Chariot upright. And on the bottom of the deck you have the Five of Cups. But I want to say this, when I pulled her up, the Five of Cups, if you look, the Hierophant is popping out right underneath her. So again, it's kind of like revisiting the past, revisiting the potential for a connection again, the connection of some sort of importance that feels like it's, you know, a commitment type, something solid, something energetically solid for you. And I think that that's important, not only because you're a Taurus and stability is vital, but just because you're a human being and stability is vital. Like, and I really think that with saying that, it's incredibly important to make sure that whatever you get involved with is going to really be solid for your emotional being, for your emotional state. Don't do something because it feels stable and you're just, but that feeling in you is like gnawing at you, like, I don't feel right about this, but they say it's stable. Yeah. I feel here there's like a hesitancy because it's like this back and forth on what you want. And I feel that it's important to not make decisions based on regret, not make decisions based on loneliness and frustration, Taurus. So yeah, let's go ahead and get the Three of Cups for Taurus, please. So you have the Knight of Cups here in reverse for Taurus for the Three of Cups. Now, see, this is the situation. It's like this type of energy most definitely indicates somebody who is more so frivolous with your time, with your energy. That may be the case in why we shut somebody out or why we were shut out. But it feels like, you know, I would be careful about this type of stuff. Just, I'm going to pull one more for the Knight of Cups in reverse, but this type of energy is somebody who, well, they blow smoke up your ass. They look for a chink in your armor. Like they will basically manipulate you on emotional levels because they know that that's a way to get at you. And it's like they tell you what you want to hear in situations, and you really need to make sure that it's solid for you. And I'm not talking about what they're giving you. I'm talking about how you feel in the situation. If you feel that a situation is done and over, then you might need to pay attention to that. Show me the Knight of Cups in reverse for Taurus, please. Why is the Knight of Cups showing up in reverse for Taurus? Yeah, so here we have the Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck, and now we've got the Seven of Wands here popping up. The Seven of Wands talks about it's being... there is a level of defensiveness in there, while the Nine of Wands is a little bit more defensive. This is more like we're wanting to fight. We're wanting, like you could be pissed off at a situation where somebody was dealing with other people, where, you know, that was the situation that caused this to shut down in the beginning, in the first place. You know, that doesn't mean that that's been rectified. It doesn't mean it's been made okay. Sometimes when that happens, things shut down, things go away. And in retrograde seasons, people kind of like, it's not even like a change of heart. It's like people understand different things about themselves now. Maybe they've grown a little bit. Maybe it could be a change of heart, but like things change for people. And sometimes they want to, you know, correct certain things where they've maybe hurt you or you them. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be the outcome. It doesn't, you know, you can apologize, you can communicate with somebody. If they're supposed to be in your life, they'll be in your life, you know, but some of you may be like over the romantic energy here. You know, I really feel here too. It's like whatever energy you're in, it feels like this is on your mind, Taurus. Not just money on your mind, okay? But more like the stability within yourself. How do you solidify that? This is like time to do that. How do you do that? Where is that for you? What makes that solid for you? Because stepping up to that, stepping up to the plate to that is, it seems like that seems to be highlighted for a lot of people right now, just in the readings that I've been doing. It seems like people are more so geared towards taking care of themselves first versus necessarily venturing into something that may not be for them. It may ignite a bunch of pain. It may ignite a bunch of emotions and feelings. But when you kind of wade through that energy, when you, you know, sift through it, it's like you end up finding yourself versus like finding, I guess, the connectors to this person again. You know, I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. The connecting points to this person again. Yeah. So yeah, show me the 10 of Pentacles for Taurus, please. Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Oh, Taurus. So you have 6 cards popping out. You have the 6 of Pentacles here, Judgment, 7 cards, 7 of Swords, 3 of Wands, 9 of Swords, the World, the Hangman. So first off, 3, you have 3 major arcanas coming out here. They're pretty heavy hitters. This is about recognizing when something's dead, recognizing when something no longer serves you to be involved in it, really looking at the situation for what it is and allowing that cycle to complete. You know, by re-engaging in this situation, you may, it's like you're at the precipice for what you want in regard to your life, in regard to the direction that you're going in. You're using your wisdom and your understanding of how this situation, you know, has basically treated you, and how that makes you sound like a victim, Taurus. I don't mean that you're a victim. How you've navigated your way through this situation. It's like it's given you key points to yourself that you can now utilize towards what you want, versus being ensnared in a situation, oops, that literally will leave you mentally exhausted, because it's like you don't know where this person is coming from. And, you know, whether they have options or not, you have options, okay? You have options. It's not about them. It's literally about you. And so I think it's important here, Taurus, for you to recognize what is most important for you. Look deep down inside and see if this actually makes sense for you to be involved in. You know, it feels like the energy is presenting itself so you can actually cut ties with this, you know, so you can balance your own energy out here. Whether or not this person was dealing with third-party situations, giving to people where they should have been giving to you, or vice versa, it leaves, this is where we've been. It feels like this 9 of Swords is where we've been. The 9 of Swords talks about unending mental cycles. It talks about energy where we just can't let it go, where it haunts us. This, it's like you're battling this, you know, and I feel that it's not like, oh, it's they're against me. I feel that you're battling yourself within this energy. Like you're battling the idea of maybe, okay, so this, okay, so it's like you're battling yourself. You're battling with the with letting it go, you know, because it seems to seep in when you want it to go, and so it just keeps coming back and coming back. And that's been like this, that's anxious energy for me. That makes me feel really anxious because it's exhausting. It's like you can't really get away from it. You try, you let it go, and then it comes back. It comes back. And it's like what I'm feeling is like you're in the direction for what you need to be part of and incorporated with. But now it's about cutting those ties. It's about really utilizing your judgment in the situation, whether the person did you wrong and dirty or not. You know, sometimes we literally have to ascend to the higher level. We have to be the bigger person. Why? Because, it benefits us. You know, if we're going to be here, if we're going to hold blame, finger point, you did this to me, how could you? I get that. And sometimes if you have not been heard in a situation where like you need that closure, where you need to feel validated, I can definitely see how that could be frustrating, and you want to get that closure, get that validation. But sometimes we literally need to ascend to a higher level and like say, fuck it, you know? Show me Temperance for Taurus. So you have Queen of Pentacles for Temperance here, Taurus. So Virgo, Taurus, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. Doesn't have to be. But the Queen of Pentacles is somebody here. It's like, I feel here we're dealing with multiple aspects. I don't necessarily feel this, you could be dealing with a person. I feel that this is multiple aspects of ourselves. What makes sense for us emotionally? What is going to make sure that we are solid emotionally? What's going to make sure that we're solid financially? How do we stabilize our lives? How do we bring these things into fruition? How do we balance them out? How do we incorporate them back and forth with each other? Where is that divine energy where we can, it's like being solid on all levels. It's being solid on all levels. And I really think it's important to weigh in the potential for you to backslide. Okay, so that's why we were going back. That's why the numbers were going backwards when I was shuffling for you. Yeah, it feels like it's like backsliding, going backward for some reason when dealing with this situation. And I don't want you to feel sad about that. I don't want you to feel bad about that or beat yourself up about it. That's a natural thing, especially if you haven't gotten closure, especially if you haven't gotten any type of validation for a situation that's been terrible, you know. But what I'm feeling here is like, it's sometimes you have to take the high road, you know, and you need to be kind to yourself and be kind to the person. Like, you know, you may choose to just shut them out if that's the case. You may hear them and shut them out. But like, I really think it's important for you to utilize your true judgment. What works for you? Does this feel good getting back into you? Does it strike you with immense anxiety and concern just even thinking about the idea of them contacting you? Like, if that's your barometer, like, you know, pay attention, because that's a huge indicator. Show me the 5 of Pentacles for Taurus, please. Yeah. So you have the 9 of Pentacles in reverse for the 5 of Pentacles. I feel like somebody wants to come back, you know, and this is somebody wanting to come back. This is somebody not feeling happy or satisfied in their life. And, you know, I want to say here too, with the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, I want to say here too that sometimes that happens, especially after retrograde seasons, especially just after time has passed, retrograde or not. People tend to evaluate situations. If it wasn't the worst thing in the world and they fucked you over, sometimes they start to feel it. They start to feel like, oh shit, maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I could have done something different. Maybe I, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, whatever. But that doesn't mean that they've changed enough to progress with you. It doesn't mean that you're necessarily on the same page any longer. It doesn't mean that they're even in the same zip code any longer. Like some of you, it's like, this break was really helpful for me. While it was painful for me, it was also something that really just led me to myself and allowed me to sit in pain and stand up from it. You know, when we do that, it's like we have to elevate ourselves because we have to literally drag ourselves out of the mire to do so. And that's really difficult for a lot of people. Some people can't do that. But you guys, while it can hurt and be devastating to certain degrees, especially if you feel that somebody is for you entirely, you know, I feel here that looking at the situation from all angles, emotional bandwidth, have emotional bandwidth with the situation. So your emotions, keep them in check here. Does it work for that? Is this financially stable? Does it make you feel stable financially? Do you need to stabilize your life financially on your own? You know, was this a drain on you? And even without finances, was this a drain on you in regard to your stability? Sometimes being with people can cause you to feel unstable, you know, on a multitude of levels. So it's really important to take a look at what we're dealing with here, Taurus. And, you know, if somebody's trying to come back to you, I think it's really important here that you evaluate this situation like a motherfucker. Like, seriously, evaluate this, look at what it is, look at what it presents, look at where the person is now in their life. Doesn't have to mean they're like riding around in a Rolls Royce, but, you know, and even if they were, that's not to say that that's why you should go back into something. Like, if they're presenting themselves like, hey, look, I've got diamonds on my rings and a fucking like diamond grill. Like, no, like, that's all facade. Why would you want to get back into that? Like, that shows you that the person is focused more so on the exterior versus the interior of their lives, of themselves, what they can offer. How do they even look at themselves? If somebody can't look at themselves, what the hell are they going to provide for you? And I'm not saying like you need to be taken care of, but like, what can they provide for you? What can they bring into your situation? What do they offer in regard to balancing out situations and energy with you, Taurus? Show me the 7 of Pentacles for Taurus. Yeah, so Taurus, you know, in regard to this person, the way these cards are laid out, I'm not going to dig them out because it's too much and I've only got 2 hands, but the way that this is staring downward, he's really evaluating, looking at this thing, and what he's looking at actually is this. Okay. He's looking at this person wanting to come back, Taurus. Okay. Evaluating a situation for what it is. Does it leave you feeling stable? Does it leave you feeling like you would rather just go on and do your own thing and find your own level of stability? Because that's what I'm actually feeling here. The Empress and the Queen of Pentacles. What popped out right now for the Seven of Pentacles was the Empress and the Eight of Pentacles. But I want to get into the Queen of Pentacles and the Empress first. This is about stability. It's about abundance. It's about creation. It's about making your own way and doing it on your own terms. You know, it's about not being bothered by other people when they come back and they want to, you know, whatever. It's like, no, 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 no. I mean, thank you for coming back. But like, look, I'm doing me and I'm doing me really well. You know, you did me last time and no. Here we are, Taurus, putting energy towards what we want in our own life, you know, putting energy towards what we want here. I don't think that this person is necessarily somebody that's going to be here for the long haul. I think this is kind of a revisiting of energies. And I think, you know, it's going to be up to you to really decide what works for you. Truth be told, what I'm feeling here is it's kind of like, okay, thank you for talking to me. Thank you for clarifying, you know, even if you're like hearing it and there's like a giant lump welling up in your throat, but like, because that's what's happening right now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Exercise your ability to say no. Exercise your ability to say no. Okay. Show me the Two of Cups for Taurus, please. Two of Cups. So you have the King of Swords and the Sun popping out with the Two of Cups, with the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck. And the Queen of Cups underneath the Eight of Cups. And under that is the Seven of Pentacles. So here we are. This person may be showing up. They may be an air sign, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. It doesn't have to be. You have that energy, air energy here. You've also got Leo here. This is somebody communicating. This is somebody being very direct, blunt, sometimes straight to the point. Sometimes this also talks about somebody who's grown into their wisdom, somebody who has basically, you know, transformed enough to be able to communicate. Now, this guy has a very difficult time communicating his emotions, his feelings. Okay? Do you see the butterflies on the cement throne that he's sitting on? Do you see the butterflies behind him? Butterflies represent transformation. Okay? The eagle represents wisdom. Somebody transforming, somebody learning about themselves, somebody becoming very clear about what makes sense for them in their life in regard to love. Somebody wanting to speak about it and clear it up. Bring forth information, enlighten you, you know. But here we have this Queen of Cups, which is your first card here, Taurus. We have the Queen of Cups staring into her cup. We have the Eight of Cups. This woman is staring into her cup. She's sad. And look, somebody's out there walking away from her. Somebody in a red cloak. You know, as cheesy as that sounds, this is how we get certain messages reading tarot. It feels like it's the same person that has walked away from her or that has left the situation, and now it's like we have to revisit this. We have to go back into it, you know. But I think the idea here is to actually let it go. You know, again, revisiting. And here we are again. These two cards, I believe, were in the beginning like this. Right? Evaluate what makes sense for you. Evaluate what makes sense for you, Taurus. Evaluate what hurts you. Sometimes things have to be put behind you. Sometimes you have to take the stability that you have and go on your own. Let things go so you can make way for new things. The Tower is not a bad card. The Tower talks about energies that no longer fit, things and situations that no longer work for you in your life. So you allow them to crumble so you can actually build a solid foundation upon the ruin. You know, and it's not even the ruin. It's like life messages, lessons, big things that we need to get engaged in so we can understand ourselves more, you know? I think we have this misconception that life is like lollipops and like, you know, Mercedes-Benz and like, I don't know what the fuck people want, the American dream. But like, I don't subscribe to that at all. Like, you know, honestly, if I could, I'd probably be like more of a hermit, you know, honestly. That's what I would love to do is like go and be by myself. But that's not a reality in this day and age, like for most of us, maybe someday. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle for you, Taurus. Show me for Taurus energy. Show me Taurus. What is this? Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. Underneath that, we have take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill. Well, I don't really jive with either of those cards, to be quite honest with you. I mean, it feels like what that message is talking about is looking within, taking a break from a situation that is negative for you to be a part of, you know, finding stability within your own self. Yeah, take a break, Taurus, from things that you can't see clearly about, okay? Cut yourself out as necessary. And take care of yourself, because when you nurture yourself, Taurus, you give yourself the opportunity for far more than you ever thought could be possible. This is your card, Taurus. This is the Empress. All right, I'm going to close it down there. My name is Isel. I'm on YouTube as the Altruistic Mystic. And if this reading was helpful, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you want to donate, feel free to do that too. The link is in the description. It's in the description box below. And I will see you in a couple weeks for your mid-month April reading. All right, take care. Bye, guys.